Good morning, Bonneville County. You have just joined Breakfast with Senator Cook live on Facebook. I am Idaho State Senator Kevin Cook from District 30, soon to be District 32. I try to do this every Saturday at 10 a.m. We're a little bit early this morning, so we're coming to you live at 9:30, but next Saturday we'll be back at 10, so please join us. The idea here is just to tell you what's going on, what happened at the Capitol, give you some feedback, and hopefully get some questions from you. What you're looking for in a senator, and what some of the issues that you're facing that maybe we can fix, or try to fix, or don't touch at all. So I'd love to hear from you, if possible. I serve on the Joint Finance Appropriations Committee, the Senate Education Committee, State Group Insurance Advisory Committee, and the Idaho Technology Authority Committee, and the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education Committee. And so keeps me pretty busy. The JFAC, the Appropriations Committee, is by far the most time-consuming committee that I'm on, but I've really enjoyed it, learned a lot from it, and I think I'm doing some good. I'm hoping to help there. Anyway, I think Idaho is absolutely the greatest state in the nation, and for that reason, I always like to start off my Facebook session with a trivia question for Idaho. And so here's your morning trivia question. Idaho is the top 5 milk producers in the nation. Where do we fit? Are we number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Okay, Idaho is the top 5 milk producers in the nation. What number are we? Okay, think about that, and we'll, at the end of this session, we'll give you the answer. Okay, all right. So we went on recess last, I guess, 2 weeks ago. And, well, I guess it was last week. We were on recess Friday. We came home with the idea we would go back on the floor Thursday at 11 o'clock. And so last Thursday, 11 o'clock, we were back on the floor. The idea we did that separation is to give the chance, if the governor was going to veto something, that we would be able to come back, discuss it, talk about it, see if we had the numbers to try and override the veto. And that's exactly what we did. So the governor did veto several bills, none of which we thought we had the numbers for to override, except for Senate Bill 1381. We thought we might have the numbers to override that. We did initially anyway. The initial bill was passed 24 to 11, which is 2/3. So that would have overrode the veto. That bill is the Coronavirus Pause Act. Basically, it's a very, very narrow bill. Okay, it's only for 1 year. It sunsets in 1 year. It goes completely away. The idea is that within 1 year, within this given year, that employers could not discriminate against those who have the vaccination versus do not have the vaccination. That they had to treat them all the same. That they couldn't mandate it, they couldn't punish them in any way, or reward those who had the vaccination. So, and then it was only supposed to last for 1 year, and it was only for the coronavirus vaccination. So we didn't have the numbers. We failed to override the governor's veto. 21 to 14 was the number that we ended up having, and so we didn't get that. So none of the bills the governor vetoed were overridden. And so even though we recessed with the idea that we might be able to override them, but we just couldn't. So that's where we stand with the vetoes. There was quite a few. I think there was maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 that he vetoed. So let me just tell you about some of the bills that we did work on, that I worked on, or I wholeheartedly supported, voted for. So some of these bills, I think that you might be interested, and you might have heard me talk about them before, but I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on what those are. So Senate Bill 1255, this was empowering the parents grant program. It provides funding for parents and for students It gives them up to $1,000 per student or $3,000 per household. And what could they do with that money? The idea is to use it for learning loss. Okay, whether it was to go out and buy some software to help your child read, or a computer so that you could get online, or internet provider, anything that you felt like you need would help your kids improve their education. That's what that money was used for, is used for. So you can go up and sign up for it. The State Board of Education, they handle that. And if you qualify, you'll get the money and you can use that. I believe there's a wallet for that. So there's a website. You have to go in and you have to purchase something that's available within that wallet, within that website. Last time we allowed you to go out to the stores and buy whatever you want, and then we would reimburse you, and that just took forever. And the manpower that it took cost us more than it was worth. Now, if you go to the website, you're going to find that, oh, this is too expensive. I could buy cheaper going to Walmart or some other store. And the answer is, yeah, you probably could, because what you're doing is you're paying for the administration of this bill plus the software. So just the way it is. But anyway, so that's a good bill. I think it will help our students who are at most risk, if they'll get involved and get that. So it's a tiered approach. So I think the first 2 months you have to be at a certain income level, and then if you're above that, you can't use it. But then the next 2 months, it opens it up to the next tier of income, and you can apply for it. So we give the most at-risk kids first, the ones that are challenged financially at first to be able to use that money. Okay, House Bill 654 is another one. This legislation creates a simple addition to allow licensed professional counselors and licensed clinical professional counselors to be included within the legal definition of school counselors. This was a big one for District 93, Superintendent Wolstenholme. So he wanted to go hire a counselor, and he couldn't hire the counselor without making that counselor go back to school and get some more credits, even though this counselor was well beyond education, knowledge, and experience. But because it was the way it was written in the Idaho Code, he couldn't hire him unless this guy would go back to school and get some more credits. And it was just kind of ridiculous. And so we looked at that and we passed that bill that now it's a little open. It's not watering it down at all. It's opening the door for those who have a different way of educating, that they can come in and help with our schools, with our students counseling, and which we do. We need a lot of that. In fact, I'd like to see some of our teachers get a little bit of training not to be able to counsel the kids, but to recognize that there's a problem, and then take that student to the school counselor and get them some help. Okay, another bill, House Bill 716. This one was I don't know. I think I liked it. There was some controversial on this one, but this one replaced the Common Core standards. There's a lot of people up in arms about Common Core standards simply because it wasn't done in Idaho. It wasn't Idaho Common Standards. And so 2 years ago, they've got Idaho teachers, some that were currently teaching, excuse me, some that were currently teaching and some that had been retired. And they've got business members. They've got professionals, and brought them all together to do the new standards, okay? And they came up, so they found experts in that teaching field to say, hey, we want you to help out with mathematics, or we want you to help out with science, or with English, or reading. And so we got Idaho people, Idaho professional teachers that are working had laid off, businessmen involved with that. It wasn't somebody back in Washington, D.C. making these standards. So they're not perfect, but I believe they're a lot better, and we're getting closer, and it's going to take some more work, but it's going to take work from Idaho people to put these standards together, so there are standards. So that was House Bill 716, and that got passed, and I'm excited about it. Representative Gary Marshall did a lot of work on that, and he's not running again, so that's kind of his farewell thing to Idaho, and just did a lot of work to replace those Common Core standards. So 2 thumbs up for Representative Marshall. House Bill 731 We are the last state in the union to recognize dyslexia. Okay, that's, I'm not going to try to describe it. I think where it flips the words around so the kids can't read. But we didn't have anything in the books that we didn't recognize it. So this one spells out the requirements to screen students for dyslexia and the identification and for professional development of educational staff. So not are we now going to be able to screen them, recognize them, that they have dyslexia. We're going to get some professional help for our teachers so that they can help the student. They have found that the earlier they jump on this, the quicker, the easier they can fix the problem and go on throughout their life without a reading problem. This was brought up to the floor, and during the debate, there was one senator that said that his father had dyslexia. They never realized it throughout K through 12. He was a grown adult, and he still had problems reading. And he says, my father was not a dumb man. He was very smart, but had dyslexia, and he never caught it, and so he never learned it. So I'm excited about that one. That will be a great one for our Idaho kids and to help our Idaho teachers with those kids. Okay, so this one's kind of a hodgepodge, but House Bill 790, 443, Senate Bill 1255, Senate Bill 1290. These are all of the bills that were wrapped up together, not together, individual, but I'm wrapping them up together. This is legislation, we appropriated $3.3 billion from all the funds, and includes an additional $258 million in new general funds, or a 12.5% general fund increase from fiscal year 22. So that's for our schools, that's for education. A lot of money going to education. It is not a blank check. I do not believe blank checks will fix our education. We are trying to bring up the level of our teachers, and in order to get more people into teaching and to get them excited about it and the education they need so that they can work with our kids. And so a lot of money there. Some of that money is going to all-day kindergarten. I'm not for all-day kindergarten. I voted against it. I'm not a fan of that. I know there's a lot out there that believe that absolutely we need all-day kindergarten, but I just can't get past it. That's not mine. So you might disagree with me on my vote there, and that's just where we'll have to be. We'll have to agree to disagree. But anyway, if you got some good data on that shows, Senator Cook, you are absolutely wrong, and here's why, then I would love to see it. I really would. If I'm wrong, I want to know that I'm wrong and change it and fix it. But right now, I just don't think that all-day kindergarten is a good thing for our state. Okay, let's move on. So I continue to work and study and research on ways to lessen the curve of our rising property taxes and help give money back to Idahoans. So on some of these, they're not as much as I'd like. I wish we had more relief for our property tax, especially for our seniors. Our seniors that just, getting hit hard. So here's some, and I believe they do help. Some of the money that we gave for education should help in property taxes, because it should relieve the need for some of those levies that they're putting out there in bonds. It should relieve the need for that with what we're doing, because we are paying the teachers, we are paying their faculty, their uncertified, classified people. We're putting them on health insurance. All of that should bring down the need for finances for your districts, and thus they shouldn't have such a great need for levies. And so that's what we're hoping. Okay, so here's some relating to property tax reduction. Then we created a threshold of $300,000 or 150% median of assessed valuation, whichever is greater for homes in the county. And so that should help. So property reduction, that's property reduction for our seniors, okay, for the circuit breaker. House Bill 509, it raised Idaho's $100 grocery tax credit by $20. So there's those that really want to remove the grocery tax, period, get rid of it. And there's those that say, well, let's leave the grocery tax on and just give those that live in Idaho a rebate. Give your money back. And you think, well, why take it in the first place? Well, this is their thought process, is we keep the grocery tax on, and then everybody that travels through Idaho, when they get groceries, we tax them and we get to keep that tax. The only tax we give back is to those that live in Idaho. And so there's a tax rebate. Now there's some that say, well, wait a minute, that tax rebate is not enough. It doesn't add up to all of the taxes that I paid on the food. And that may be true. I've seen some numbers that say, no, I think it is, and some numbers that say that's not. So somewhere in the middle is the truth. We don't capture enough data to really know that yet. I'd like to see us capture some more data on some of these taxes so that we really know what we're faced with. But anyway, so right now, if you live in Idaho, and when you fill out your income tax, I think there's a box that checks there. You can say, I do want my grocery rebate. And you get $100 back per person, okay? If you're older than 65, you'll get $120 back. Now start with this new legislation that we just passed, that increases by $20. So it's now $120 per person, or $140 if you're 65 and older, okay? So that's the rebate. There's big arguments about whether the grocery tax should go away, but that's where we're at today. So, all right, House Bill 436. The governor really ran on this one, was excited about that. It's the largest tax cut in Idaho history into law. It included $251 million in income tax reductions on an annual basis beginning in 2023, and a $350 million one-time expenditure for tax rebates to most Idaho taxpayers. So lots and lots of tax rebates, money going back, some of it permanent, some of it just one time, but you're going to get some money back, which I think is good. We paid it, we should get it back. And who knows how to use your money better than yourself, okay? I don't believe the government's always the best place to be putting your money. I'm not sure if they're really great with using that. So it's coming back to you and you can use it. There's an infrastructure bill. You've heard a lot about our highways and our bridges that we're all falling down. They're all in need of maintenance, that they're very risk. And so we put a lot of money into roads and bridges. So if you look up House Bill 772 and Senate Bill 1359, you'll find a bill there that we've put $200 million into repairs, $200 million into maintenance, and $100 million into new construction. And so lots of money that's going there. Let's see, other bills. There's House Bill 589. This was by Brian Walker, who is our juvenile detention center, runs that. And he worked on this one big time with Representative Erickson and myself. And I had a chance to go out, I think about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, to go out and view the juvenile detention center. What a great work they do out there. And my hat goes off to Brian Walker. They got kids in there that are coming from disturbed homes, got lots of problems. They're bringing them in and they're helping them get an education, teaching them discipline, how to deal with anger management problems, and then getting them back out as soon as they can. Well, the problem that they had there, this bill, House Bill 589, was you had juvenile detention, juvenile probation, and adult misdemeanor officers, okay, dealing with young people. They went through the post-certified officers class. They did everything pretty much the same as the adult officers. But the adult officers, they got to retire early, whereas your juvenile detention officers, they had to continue on what they call a Rule 90 or Rule 80. So they had to work longer. And you might think, well, why do they get off early? Well, our first responders, because they are so at risk and because it is so demanding, as they get older, I hate to admit this, okay, but as we get older, we're not quite as agile as we used to be. These juvenile detention officers and probational officers, they're dealing with teenagers. that are doing adult crimes. And so they're going into a juvenile detention, a juvenile's home where parents are, that the parents themselves are probably doing illegal things as well. And so they are a big risk. And they're trying to tackle down some of these teenagers that weigh 200 pounds and 6'5". And for a 65-year-old to do that, it's pretty darn tough. Now, you might say, well, that's fine, but we don't want the state paying for that. Well, that's part of this bill. You got a Rule 90 and a Rule 80, and these are for state employees. So with the Rule 80, it is the employees that are paying this. They are paying extra out of their pocket so that they can retire early, okay? They pay for it. Very, very little is coming out of the county coffers. And this was put out there. We've talked to the county, and they were supportive of it. And so I really think this is a good thing for our officers, those that are our first responders that are dealing with violent crimes, that need to be able to react quickly, that need to be able to sometimes handle an individual that's under drugs or whatever else you might see. So anyway, House Bill 589, it's a good bill. Senate Bill 1329, this one I'm really excited about. This one they've been trying to do for, I guess, about 10 or 12 years. This moved the Extended Employment Services Program from the Idaho Division of Vocational Rehabilitation to the Idaho Division of Health and Welfare. And you might think, what the heck is that? Okay, well, what it is the Extended Employment Services. This is for your mental disabled people, okay, that are really have some problems. They can't hold down a full-time job. They can't go out and work, earn some money. Well, just like you and I, we need to be able to feel like we can provide something. We can do something in the community and feel like I've contributed. Well, this is what this program does, is if you want to see something that is incredible, that will just blow your mind, is go take a tour of the development workshop over on Roland Dent. So they've got some assembly lines where some of these individuals, young men, young women, I think you have to be 18 and older to be able to apply for this program, but they come in and they do assembly line work, and some of them is just putting one rivet in, and that's what they're doing, and they're so excited about it. And at the end of the day, they get some money, they get a paycheck, and they leave thinking, I have done something good. I've contributed to the community. And so this just got moved from one program to another, from one agency to another, and hopefully it'll work better under there. And there was just some problems where it was at. There was some contention on the money, where it was coming from. So I'm excited about that. I think this is a really good thing, and that's been worked on for several years, and we finally got them to move it. Took a little bit of pushing and shoving and compromising, but we're there. Like I said at the beginning of this, I spent most of my time researching and digging deep into various agency budgets. That's where I spend a lot of my time, is on the JFAC committee. I need to better understand the needs of the agencies, how they spend their money, and so I'm continually meeting with people, with the agencies to figure that out, and hopefully be able to help there, that we're more efficient, that we use our taxes better, and so that's where I'm at. Let's see, though I may not vote always the way you wish, I want you to know that I do take time to study the bill. I do study the bills. I do read the bills. I listen to phone calls. I read emails and texts. I listen to you, the constituents. I am not an expert at all things. I'm an expert at maybe one or two things, and that you might argue that point, but I need to hear from you. And on some of those really hard bills, I do reach out because I'm not hearing anybody. And so I do reach out to different people to find out, what are your thoughts? What about this? What are your feelings? And then I try to weigh that. I try to get both sides of the story. So I'd love to hear from you if you've got some thoughts on that, and see if we can make it work for everybody. Okay, I started out with the trivia question for Idaho, because I think Idaho is the greatest nation on earth. So here's the trivia question, and when you sit around to lunch or you're out working in the yard today, you can ask your kids this trivia question. Idaho is in the top 5 milk producers in the nation, the whole nation. Okay, we're in the top 5. All right, where do we fit? Are we number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Okay, here it is. California is number 1 at 40.6 billion pounds of milk. That's kind of weird, but that's how they do it. It's not in gallons, it's pounds. Number 2, Wisconsin with 30.6 billion pounds of milk. And number 3 is our very own Idaho. Idaho with 15.6 billion pounds of milk. Now, the great thing about the milk in Idaho is it's conservative milk. It's good stuff. You want to have your kids drink that. Not that California or Wisconsin milk. We want Idaho milk. And then for your information, number 4 is New York, which really surprised me. And then 5th is Texas. Anyway, thanks for joining Breakfast with Senator Cook. I'm Senator Kevin Cook from the District of 30 in Bonneville County, soon to be District 32. It's campaign season. If you would consider putting a sign up in your yard, give me a call, text me, email me, and I will drop a sign off for you and stick it in your yard. I need all your help you can give me. I would appreciate it. It was a good session. I enjoyed the session, learned lots, and still learning. Governor Little said it was one of the greatest sessions that he's seen, and so he was excited about the session that happened as well. Anyway, again, I do this every Saturday at 10 a.m., except for today. We moved it up 9:30, but we do it at 10 a.m. Have a great weekend, and hope to see you on the streets of Idaho, and if you got any comments or questions, let me know. Thank you so much. We'll see you.